Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, Kaito was watching a news broadcast concerning a conference with Exoskeleton Company and the recent malfunctions of the HUG devices manufactured and sold by them. And of course, fronting the conference on Exco's behalf was, of course, their main PR person, Misaki Tsunomiya, who is the one who ultimately has to deal with the media fallout of the situation, given her position. But unfortunately, that's just. But today, Saturday, is the start of summer break. The last one of my high school life, my precious, valuable summer break. A month and a half long promised paradise. Or that's what it was supposed to be. Instead, I have to come to club. My dreams of playing Kill Ballad to my heart's content sink deep into the ocean. And I'm surprised to see you here, of all places, of all people, Subaru Hidaka. But I think I can surmise that you got more than a stern tongue lashing from Hiromu. And for some reason, Subaru's in the hangar.
Subaru! 生きてたんだ!
アキちゃん、いきなり何言ってんの?
Alive but not unscarred. He doesn't even have the energy to make his usual retorts.
おはようございます。
His greeting is even colder than usual. He looks bored, sitting on a parasol while drinking a can of coffee.
ねえ、ここに来ても大丈夫なの？あ、そうか、お父さんと和解できたんだね。とことん話し合って活動を許してもらったとか。
To be fair, it might seem like Akio is being willfully obtuse and just trying to gloss over everything with an air of naivete. But in all fairness, she is trying to make light of a very serious situation.
僕の父親はそんな生ぬるい人間じゃありませんよ。許してもらえるはずがないでしょう。
Yeah, there was no way that was going to be swept under the rug so easily.
え、じゃあ。
父さんからはきつく怒られました。二度とロボット遊びはするなとね。だからここに来ているのは内緒です。
God damn it. Well, if Hiromu ever comes here again, he'll probably do more than just wreck M45.
また親父さんがここに来たらどうするのさ。問題ないですよ。
Subaru sadly hides his gaze.
僕がここに来ているのは一人で静かに勉強するため。 ということになっていますから。
A closer inspection of the table next door reveals a stack of textbooks and notebooks.
その言い訳はさすがに通用しないでしょう。
True. You're still playing with fire there, Subaru.
大丈夫ですよ。
根拠は？
M45 は父さんの目の前で解体しました。
え？
ホビーロボの趣味は完全に封印することを証明する意味でね。ですからロボワン世界大会への出場もキャンセルです。
Yeah, I figured as much. No Las Vegas prize money for us.
ラッシオ先輩には申し訳ありませんが。
Yeah, so we basically went to all that trouble for nothing.
いや、ミスターヒアデスにならなくて済むんだから俺としては助かるけどね。
スバル M45 を解体したなんて辛かったでしょ。
Akio looks like she's about to cry. She slowly walks over to Subaru and gently grasps his hand.
いや、部長。
うちにはわかるよ。スバルがどれだけ辛かったか。M45 はスバルにとっては分身でパートナーだもん。そんなあの子を自分の手でバラさなくちゃいけないなんて悲しいよ。
Yeah, despite your differences, the two of you do have something in common. You had a dream involving robots.
というわけでスバル、走りますか？
は？
ほら、あの夕日に向かって。
Akio pulls Subaru by the hand and forces him to stand, then points at the sky beyond the runway. It's still totally blue sky.
走りませんよ。
アキちゃん走ったら発作出るでしょ。
She always has to sit and watch the others during PE. And what about yourself, Kaito? Akio pouts her lips and releases Subaru's hand. Well, she tried.
でもあの時 M45 をかばおうとしてくれて、ありがとうございました。
Indeed. Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but Kaito clearly would and is. But yeah, I think Subaru has an idea of just how much Gunbuild 1 means to Akio.
おお、まさかスバルがこんなに素直になるなんて。カイ、スバルが心を開いたよ。
いや、俺に報告しなくていいから。
Indeed.
別に心を開いてなんていませんよ。
You kind of did.
僕はただロボワンに出ることもできなくなって 暇になったので、ここで勉強するついでに頑張れる建造を少しくらいなら手伝ってもいいかと思っただけです。
それ本当？
ふん。
I never expected those words to come out of Subaru's mouth, quite frankly. I guess having his dreams denied by his dad was a pretty big shock.
せっかく部員増えたのにみんなガンツクワンのこと無視してるんじゃないかって焦ってたけど、時は来た。これで勝利は間違いなし。
That being said, I'm sure there'll be a few caveats involved. And so Akio's dream moves forward, all's well that ends well. If Subaru's going to help with building the robot, I can finally give my mind and body to kill Ballard. Talk about some good news to kick off summer break. Well, be careful you don't jinx yourself there, Kaido. And talking of which, the robot clinic. Tetsuharu Fujita. We're back with the doc. Whenever one is in a flood of sound, one's body naturally gets into a rhythm. That's usually how music works. For me, the rhythm of rock best matches my body's rhythm. That's why I always have some playing loudly in my store. At my age, I've started to think it wouldn't be so bad to die surrounded by the sound. I grin to myself. Of course, you shouldn't really have it too loud or else you'll wreck your hearing. I sense someone's presence and look toward the door. 2 high school students have come in. Akio and Subaru. Of course, yeah, there is still the matter of paying for the maintenance, paying for the parts used to augment the honorary prayers. The girl is a regular, but the boy with her isn't her usual escort. I've never seen him before. Yeah, what a surprise.
Doc! Doc!
Girl is shouting at something at me and seems to be gesturing with her hands to turn down the volume. I have no choice, so I turn down the dial on the stereo amp. And now Akio's ears aren't bleeding.
絶対耳おかしくなってるよ、ドク。
スケを踏み倒すようなクソガキに言われる筋合いはねえよ。
I pull the parts bill on her tab, but she hasn't shown her face in over 20 days. The Robotics Club is a regular customer, but I never thought the current president would be a brat who trampled on my kindness. I heard she's Misaki's younger sister, but she's completely different. Well, that's usually how siblings work. I suppose they are kind of alike in a way. Yeah. Don't point out the fact that, yeah, there was a bureaucracy clause on the prize money of Robo 1. In response to my words, Akio Shinomiya, I just lumped them all together and called them the Robotics Club. Boldly laughs. She then slams some money down on the counter with as much strength as she's got, causing bills to scatter everywhere.
借金まとめてお返しします。
Well, Well, there's a shock.
何の真似だ。
Probably never a good idea to try and act cool in front of the dog. The girl rushes to gather up the money that got strewn around all over the counter, then offers it to me while bowing down.
お納めください。
Are kids these days cheeky, or do they just lack common sense? Whatever, a customer is a customer. I accept her money and begin checking the amount. Is it enough?
確かに。
Apparently so.
普通なら利子を取るところだが、今回は特別だ。
You should count your blessings there, Akio.
ドク、遅くなって本当にごめんなさい。
どうせ学校に借金のことを言わなかったんだろう。
That's not it.
だからめんどくせえことになる。
だって学校のお金じゃなくてうちの個人的な借金だったから、学校に言ってもどうせ出してくれないだろうし。
賞金ならそっちの兄ちゃんがたっぷり持ってんだろうが。ミスタープレアですだろ、お前さ。
Yeah, nothing gets by you, Fujita. Nothing gets by you.
なぜわかったんです？
That is why he is the robot dog.
あの程度の変装なら誰だってわかるに決まってんじゃねえか。寝ぼけてんのか。
You might want to tell that to Michi and Usui there, Fujita.
誰だってってそんなバカな。
Again, the helmet might have helped, although the mannerisms and your height would also be dead giveaways.
うち普通にわからなかったけどな。ミッチーや教頭先生も言われるまで気づいてなかったみたいだし。
それはよっぽど人の顔を見てねえか。てめえらの目が節穴なんだよ。
Again, you might want to tell them that, Fujita.
節穴。じゃあカイの目は節穴じゃない。
Clearly not.
そんなことよりプレアデスの正体を知ってどうするつもりですか？世間に公表しますか？
No need to get overworked, Subaru. Of course. That is a thorn, because Hiromu knows that Subaru's been going behind his back and tinkering with the hobby robots. I don't think he picked up on the Mr. Pleiades gig.
こっちはプロだ。客の情報を漏らしたりするかよ。さあ、用が済んだなら帰んな。
Well, at least that turned out for the best. I've no intention of continuing this scatterbrained conversation. Time to turn my beats back
あ、
up.
待ってドク、待った。
なんだ、まだあんのか。
もちろんあるよ。そのために来たんだから。
For once, Robotics Club is shooting straight with me instead of dancing around the order she wants to make. She's probably getting carried away because she's got some cash.
パーツを買いに来ました。
Good call there. Right on the mark.
ホビーロボのパーツか。
違うよ。
However,
ガンツクワンのパーツ。
surprising dazzle in her eyes. It's like that summer 9 years ago, when her older sister first visited this unstylish, oily store of mine. Right now, thanks to the worldwide robot boom, there are a lot more girls who have an interest in hobby robots. But back then, hobby robots themselves were a minor thing. Only a small number of enthusiasts even knew they existed. Naturally, visitors to the robot clinic were people interested in crafts and machines, plus otaku with money to burn. Yet in the midst of it all, that young lady appeared before me.
こんにちは。
Misaki Tsunomiya. To be perfectly honest, I never imagined that a girl around the age of my granddaughter would visit my store. Speaking of Juna, yeah, there's still there is still a gap as wide as the Grand Canyon between you two that you should probably work on patching up.
お嬢ちゃん、店を間違えてるぜ。ここはお前さんみてえのが来る店じゃねえ。
あなたがロボドクターですか？中央種子島高校ロボット研究同好会の瀬宮美咲と言います。
Without reacting to my words at all, the girl calmly introduced herself.
ロボット研究同好会？聞いたことねえな。
That's because it didn't exist until right about now or
今日で
something.
きました。
Ah, I was right. I didn't expect to call that.
その制服、中央種子島高校だろ。確か今日が入学式じゃなかったか？
So Misaki formed the association right after she started attending Chuo High.
今日入学して今日作ったんです。
誰がだ？
私が。
バカ言っちゃいけねえな。ここは素人の来るところじゃねえぞ。
Yeah. Something tells me you were destined to eat those words,
入
Fujita.
学式が終わったからまっすぐここに来たの。そうしようってもうずっと前から決めていたから。
その同好会、何人所属してんだ？
一人です。
So she hadn't yet recruited Michi and let alone Ko Kimijima.
お前さんだけか。じゃあやめとけ。いい笑い物になるだけだ。
そんなことは別にいいんです。それよりロボドクターのあなたに見てほしいものが。
She then unrolled a simple single-page blueprint.
ホビーロボか。
違います。
じゃあなんだ？
実物大の巨大ロボットを作りたくて。
And now that I think about it, I can see the same spark of drive that empowers Akio.
帰んな。二度と来んな。大人をバカにするもんじゃねえぞ。コムスレ。
You might want to take a look at that blueprint of hers,
至って
Fujita.
真面目に話していますよ。ロボドクター、あなたの腕前についてはネットで調べさせてもらいました。相沢次郎博士最後の弟子、藤田哲治さん。
Jiro Aizawa, a name that until now I've never heard of.
よく調べたな。別に隠すほどのもんでもねえが。
あなたの助言が欲しいんです。このロボを実際に作って動かすには何が必要で何が必要じゃないのか教えてください。
帰れと言ってんだ。
いいえ、帰りません。
お前さんに教えることなど何もない。
Of course, little did Fujita realize that how right he was, but not in the way that he thought at the time. Because in reality, there really was nothing he could teach Misaki. For all his own experience, for all his knowledge and expertise, this person right here had the capacity to surpass him. At least back then.
だったら
Misaki leans across the counter.
賭けをしませんか？
賭け？
ロボット研究同好会は今年中にロボワンで優勝します。それを実現できたらあなたの技術と知識をロボ犬にください。
A very proud bet. Even at 15, there wasn't a timid bone in her body. She was willing to wager with me, a person everyone called eccentric. In my long years of living, Misaki was the first girl I ever met who was that damn bold. At the time, as she stared at me, there was this radiant illusion of dazzling light in her eyes. To that end, I have similar expectations for Akio, as someone with that same brilliant look in her eyes. Unfortunately, Misaki's journey through life has taken her down a very rough and despondent road.
試作1号機を完成させるための努力は不毛としか言いようがないですね。
And of course, needless to say that Akio doesn't quite have the skill set that Misaki had way back when.
何よ、また設計部分に口出しするの？
For some reason, the kids have started arguing.
でも残念でした。また全部却下しちゃうもんね。
Yeah, this is going to go the same way that it did previously.
そもそもあれがかっこいいとでも思っているんですか？
かっこよくないのはうちだって分かってるよ。でもあれじゃなきゃダメなの。
Maybe I'm giving her too much credit.
うるせえ。
I loudly shout, causing the pair to close their mouths.
くだらねえ雑談はよそでやんな。それでどんなパーツが欲しいんだ？
ドーク、そうこなくっちゃ。
But even then, as the man who lost that wager so many years ago, I'm in this for the long term. Because Misaki did win that battle of Robo 1 with the honorary prayers that she designed, and as a result turned the Robotics Association into a formal club. Robotics Club is no more. Or until that giant robot of hers is completed. I'm in this until the end. Unlike Kaito, Fujita never goes back on his word. It's quiet. It's also cooler than usual today, which is a kind of a good thing in summer, though not nearly as cool as the interior of Frau's abode. There's a carefree air and feel in the air as time passes at the old airport. I look out at the runway. Juno's been practicing karate katas for nearly an hour. She always does this when she has nothing else to do. I wouldn't be surprised if she brought her karate gi one of these days. Neither would I, Kaito. There's still no sign of Subaru, but considering his old man, he'd likely get suspicious if Subaru came early every day. As for Akio, she shut herself away in the hangar doing something or other. Whatever, she'll be fine on her own, as long as she doesn't exert herself and have an attack. Obviously I'm playing tons of Kill Ballad, as usual. I've already played around 30 matches today, but I think I'll get another 10 in before lunch. With that happy thought running through my mind, I nonchalantly look up at the calendar on my Pokecom. It's already June 30th.
マジか。ちょっと、いや、かなりショック。
Yeah, how time flies. I want to cradle my head. 10 days have already passed since summer break started. You'd think that since it's a month and a half long, it wouldn't go by so fast. Already a quarter of the way through. I know the sentiment, Kaito, only far too well. All I've done is take supplementary tests and play KB. Let's see what's happening on the Twippo. It's today. I hope the parts come in fast. Gonna build. Akio's very jubilant. I was going to study for college entrance exams, but not feeling it. I have to do Super Rinpei to mentally concentrate. Suntan Southern Islander boy that I saw this morning was going to a store was amazing. If he was wearing glasses, I would have gotten a bloody nose. It was meant to be. I'm in paradise. Woohoo. Yeah. I want to dial it back there, Frau. Sister Centipede, chill out. Huh, why is Sister Centipede replying to Frau? Of all people. That's odd. Do-do-do, lol, too cute. Please ignore it. I'm not going to ask what happened between Frau and Juna. Played about 3 hours, 32-0. That's a good score so far. And quite a few from the dock. Geez, their eyes have no ill will. Kids these days. From Robot Doctor, new parts are in. World's first battery for giant robots. The 4D01 by Matoba Technical Research Institute. The battery is made for giant robots, but basically it's a smaller car battery. have two in stock. Well, if Akio can get her hands on one of those batteries, that would actually be a huge leap for the Gun Build 1 project. Due to the current situation, I will be stepping away from media appearances. I will also be taking a break from this account as well. I will be putting everything into my position. Please continue to support Exoskeleton Company. Oh, Misaki. Things really aren't turning out well for you, which is a huge understatement. Solar storm news. A small-sized solar storm hit the west side of America. Malfunction seen on some electronics. What is considered a small one? I can't tell at all. They seem pretty sizable, actually. Just like NASA said, it will come in 2019. They announced it like 6 years ago. Not to mention a certain Ko Kimijima as well, who said that. This is the beginning, just the beginning. There are no abnormalities in Japan, right? Then it must mean it was a small size. There is no point getting worked up about it. But then again, we don't know what other phenomena are taking place. Something like the crash of 15 won't happen again, right? There's no point in being worried about America, are you stupid? It's more like, thank you America for taking the hit. It'd be great if this means no more solar storms. You can't just turn solar storms off with the flick of a switch there. I don't think there is a solar storm Kun that pinpoints targets a small island country like Japan. How far do you think Earth is from the sun? Well, if you actually read any sort of books on space, you would actually know how far the Earth is from the sun. That being said, I don't remember myself. Been a long time since I read about the solar system. I mean, countermeasures for the solar storm have been made, right? Then everything should be fine. Electronics have been affected even though it was a small solar system. Are they dumb? I was planning to go to Vegas next week. Will it be calmed down by then? Solar storms only come for an instant, so they don't stay forever. So by tomorrow's news it should be fine. Seems like Kurikanoshi is going to write another article to worry people. Lol. Some people should be worried about some things. But that's apparently it for the tweeps. That's right. These ridiculous supplementary tests ate an entire 10 days of my precious summer break, and they're going to continue devouring them. Kaito. But they're finally over. Okay, so maybe not. I'm a free man. Ish. There's about a month left of summer break. It might not be a bad idea just to throw myself into KB for the rest of it. Of course, if Akio has anything to say about the matter, you might have to postpone those plans there, Kaito. I used that desperate idea to push out the other horrific beast looming on the horizon, entrance exams, out of my head. That car horn can only mean one thing. Misery and despair. I could have sworn I just heard a car horn in the distance. I would love to believe that it's an audio hallucination, but we're not lucky in that regard. Akio comes flying out of the hangar in response to the distant sound. Without my noticing, she's already changed into her work clothes. She sure seems enthusiastic. Now that progress on Gun Barrel can finally get underway, why wouldn't she be? I don't want to say, but I can guess.
誰じゃないよ。
I think who matters as well. Akio starts walking awkwardly toward the parking lot. Despite how it looks, he's actually running. Kind of.
ヤシオくん。何かあったの？
Juno returns from the runway, wiping sweat off her forehead with a towel.
パーツが届いたらしいよ。
パーツって1号機くんの？
多分ね。
So now the robot is a coon. Okay.
そういえば1週間くらい前にロボクリニックで買い漁ったんだっけ。
Yeah, stuff that she could actually now afford. Thanks, of course, to Subaru's assistance. Juno and I stayed behind in the club room at the time. As usual, Juno has no desire to go to the robot clinic. But we still don't actually know about Fujito's sentiments towards his own granddaughter. I guess she really can't handle Doc. Yes, he's scary, but even I can't help but feel bad that his own granddaughter can't stand him.
何あれ？
Juno is rendered speechless. Akio opens the metal mesh gate connected to the parking lot and a large truck comes in. Okay, if it's a giant truck, then I'm pretty sure that my earlier sentiments might yet be allayed. Maybe. Keeping my fingers crossed on that one. There's a sheet over the cargo. Given how big it is, it's either a lot of something or one big thing. It's the latter, Kaito. And not only that, there's more than one truck. A small truck with a crane attached to it follows the first one into the lot. The two trucks follow Akio's signaling, drive up to the front of the hangar, and then stop.
おお、アキオちゃん、運んできてやったぞ。
Okay, sentiments kind of playing themselves out here.
ありがとうございます。
Well, at least it was you, Sumio, and not your nephew. A large man gets out of the passenger seat of the larger truck. Given Juno's voice surprise, she must know who this guy is.
あれ誰？
We're about to find out.
スペースアーメンの社長さん。
He's the man behind my beloved space candy, and also Mitch's motive. I guess his face does look similar. Similar nothing. As the two of us watch him from a distance, he notices us. A huge smile crosses his face and waddles his massive body over to us. He's like a bear, more like a redwood tree. And for some reason there's a parakeet fluttering atop his head.
よ、チュンナちゃん。
Looks like his name was Juna.
どうもオスです。
Juna bows deeply.
考えてくれたかのう。我が社のキャンペーンガールになってくれる話じゃが。
無理です。
ボインちゃんいいね。
Thanks, Taro.
ギャラも弾むが、どうだね。
無理です。
Yeah, Juna's self-esteem is really taking a hit here.
残念だの
God damn it. I have more sympathy for Sumio than I ever would Michi. That's saying a lot. The president then suddenly turns his attention to me.
君がヤシオ君か
Yeah, you're one of your most loyal customers.
は
アキホちゃんから話は聞いとるぞ
I'm sure she said quite a bit.
おれお土産だちゃんと食え
Well, Kaito, your prayers have been answered. Free space candy for the president. He hands me an entire box of 12 bags of space candy.
ありがとうございます。
I'm genuinely surprised. This is pretty exciting. Well, we've sold out, ladies and gentlemen. We're corporate stooges. We've been bought, sold, and paid for by this man. God damn it. There's a bit of commotion coming from the trucks. I glance over to find the workers who drove in using the crane to unload the large cargo. Well, if Misaki and Mizuka are here, they'd be surprised at what Akio has now accomplished. Wait a second, one of those workers is Michi. I had a feeling. I had a hunch that he'd be there.
カイ、ジュン、どう？
That said, this is probably the most useful thing that Michi has done this whole time.
どうって？
It seems like Akio's dream is finally paying off.
待望の発電機だよ。それにエンジンもラジエーターもバッテリーだってたくさん。
In other words, for the first time in a long while, progress is about to be made to Gunbuild 1 at long last.
すごいね。
ずいぶん買い込んだじゃない。
スポンサーである社長が気前よくポーンと出してくれたおかげだよ。しかもね、西の表港からここまでパーツを運ぶのまでやってくれたんだよ。おかげで助かっちゃった。
Yeah, Sumio is to be congratulated.
ミッチーに頼んでもらったんだけどね。
I'm actually surprised that Michi actually acquiesced to that
こ
one.
れで必要なパーツはほぼ揃ったよ。あと足りないのってドクお手製の巨大サーボモーターぐらいで、それももう発注かけてるんだ。っていうかドクってば何年も前にあらかじめ作り終えてて、あとは調整するだけだって言ってた。
Looks like all the pieces are finally falling into place. That's pretty major progress. Even Misaki would agree on that one, Kaito. Although I'm not sure what to think of it considering money with all the talking.
接合パーツなんかはほとんど製作済みでハンガーに保管してあるから、残る作業は組み立てだけ。
Of course, that begs the question of once Gunbuild 1 is completed, we're gonna need a larger storage space, because this place certainly won't do it.
もうできたも同然でしょ。
Not quite, but we're nearly at 100% completion. Our president's starting to get ahead of herself yet again, and yet she has every reason to be exuberant. Never did Akio Sonomiya think that this day would come, that actual work could be done on Gunbuild 1 beyond mere maintenance. Even an amateur like me knows that the hardest part of building a giant robot over 10 meters tall is assembling it, but Michi aside, I'm pretty sure that other drivers of those vehicles should hopefully know their stuff. Akio's way too optimistic about all this, but I don't think we can blame her this time.
そうかそうかできたも同然かインパクト的にはいい ことだぞ。
Yeah, we probably should have just shown him Gun Build 1 right from the very start, although Juna pretty much filled in for that. The president is giving off the same aura as Akio.
ちなみにの、今うちの社でステッカーを作っとるからな。
Yeah, way to cash in on that merchandising there,
ステ
Sumio.
ッカー
Then again, that's why you're a businessman.
あ、スペースアメ車っちゅうてダーンと書いてあるでっかいやつだ。
もういいじゃん。
それをな、ロボの一番目立つところに貼ってくれ。頼んだぞ、アキオちゃん。
Yeah, that's the price of selling out, I'm afraid.
ステッカ
Well, that's also the price of being sponsored. An actual demand from the sponsor. They're offering money in exchange for advertising after all. But looks like Akio had no clue about any of this
ー
until now.
社長ステッカーを貼るとガンツクワンの頑張れるらしさが台無しになっちゃうんだけど
らしさ、それはインパクト的に重要なんか。そもそも頑張れるっちゅうのなんなんじゃ。
Well, if you were to watch Mobile Battle of Gun Barrel, I think your impact meter would explode.
うちらが作ってるロボのモデルは頑張れるっていうアニメのロボなんです。
Might be better to show them.
アニメの頑張れるは目立つところにステッカーなんて貼ってないから。
だがな、お嬢ちゃん、インパクトっちゅうのは大事だ。やはりの一番目立つ場所に貼るってのはずれん。
Yeah, Sumio certainly got determination.
そもそも貼るの前提なんだ。
それとな、そのロボっちゅうのは人が乗ると聞いたが。
Well, that's your cue, Kaito.
はい乗ります。それが巨大ロボとしての正しい姿ですから。
That sounds like a jab at Subaru, who, by the way, is still not here for good reason.
その乗組員な、
乗組員じゃなくてパイロット。
Indeed.
我が社としては純奈ちゃんを希望させてもらう。
Your company pretty much means just you, Sumio. God damn it. Yeah, really wanting to cash in on that merchandising. What a turn of events. Heh, the wind blows in my favor.
無理です。
Not in June,
私
unfortunately.
パイロットは今のところここにいる階に。
I don't think Sumio is going to take any other request.
いいや、俺はまだ一言も乗るとは言ってないよ。
And there's also that. Shot down again, Akio.
ちょっと階。
それにほら、資金を出してくれたスポンサー様の意向には逆らえないでしょ。ねえ。
Way to throw Juno under the bus there, Kaito. Way to do that. I look at Juno, who's currently muttering to herself with tears in her eyes, desperately shaking her head.
というわけで社長、ステッカーとパイロットの件はちゃんと検討しておきますんで。
Yeah, Kaito's sold out.
そっかそっか、よろしく頼むの。特に純奈ちゃんを乗組員にする件だな。
パイロッ
Yeah, there was always going to be a wrinkle in this plan. Pretty big wrinkle.
島出身の空手家美少女が操縦する巨大ロボっていうのはインパクト絶大だ。
Yeah. Really need to really need to tweak the definition of the word impact.
ボインちゃん
確実に何日新聞には取り上げられる。これは一面狙えるぞ。もしかすると純奈ちゃんに単独インタビューとかもあるかもしれんね。
マリ
It's okay, Juna. It's okay. This whole time, Juno's been looking like she's seeing the world end before her eyes. Considering she's constantly practicing karate because she has nothing else to do, she should just roll with it. Really need to read the room there, Kaito. As our conversation continues, the rest of the parts are steadily unloaded from the truck. As soon as all the cargo was unloaded from the truck, the Space Candy Company president left like a passing storm, which is a good place to end this rather lengthy episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. And when we return, adventurers, yeah, looks like Gunbuild 1 is finally getting some much needed improvements toward its completion. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.